Okay, so we focused on the E. So my is kind of like E, but E is to, my is from. All right. My ya, and this again, this should have the Fatma Mafa over the A. So my ya. So if you remember, like ya, like that one right there. So this is also like to, but it's to a proper noun or to a plural pronoun. So proper noun like a name, Guillermo, or plural pronouns like I lato, I laua, I maua, like we, us, them, you all, and so forth. So plural pronouns and proper nouns. So in this example right here, it's ua fa'alongo siapo. So fa'alongo is to hear. So have hear or have heard. Shapo. So shapo, heard. And then iletala. So shapo heard the news or the story. And the fa'alongo is going to, the letala. So that's why it's iletala. Well, fa'alongo shapo iletala. And then our location, or our main location is going to be Maya from Xiongye. And or if we wanted to use the plural pronoun ilato, so that's them. All right. A lot of times people just drop the e; they'll just say lato. So ufalomo shapo iletala maya shong or maya lato. All right. And then there's yate. Oh yeah, I'm recording. Thank you. Okay, yate. Move that out of the way. So singular pronoun, but again, I think we said it in week 1 or week 2. A lot of times, people will say like yate, because this is a singular pronoun. You might even hear, like yate imato, but that's a plural pronoun. But just like a lot of the books will say, this would go, would lead into a singular pronoun like yateau, yateoi, yateia. Okay. So it's the same thing, but when we say my, we're saying my yate. So we're saying from, and then we're going into a singular pronoun. Okay. So na mawa, so has gotten or has received, and then eletamaloa. So remember the when you see a and then you see like a noun after that, that's who's doing the action. All right. So we have our tense, we have our action, and we have who's doing the action. So there's more than likely, actually, there's going to be another subject. If we see a and then a noun, then there's going to be another subject. So we have subject number 1, subject number 2, and this is all review unless you're just kind of joining now. We have so tense, action, 2 subjects. So ele tamaloa, that's the subject doer. The subject receiver is lepepa. So namawa ele tamaloa lepepa. The man received or got the paper, so this is our location. All of this is our location. My ya teia, from him or her. Okay, so the man got the paper from her. All right, my ya te. Then we have lae, lae. So la is like over there. So oletama, the boy. And then we have lae ilipotu. So like is over there in the room. So the boy's over there in the room. And so if we say la that means it's, our location is going to be further away, somewhere over there. So, or the tamalai lepot. So the boy's over there in the room. All right. And then mo is going to be 4. It's 4. All right. So again, we have our tense, we have our action, we see all right. And then a noun, a pronoun actually is after that. So we have one subject, and if we see a and then a noun, there's going to be at least one other subject. All right, so here's our other subject, lefaitotoa. And then our location is going to be mo'oi. All right, all of that is our location. Tense, action, 2 subjects, and then a location. So sa tatalaina e a'u. So I was opening the door le faitoto'a mo'oi for you. I was opening the door for you. Sa tatalaina e a'u le faitoto'a mo'oi. Okay. So I think that these are the only ones, the main ones, like that we didn't cover. There's a whole bunch of other location prepositions, and there's a couple of worksheets on Pacifica pages on on the Mato side um, that you can download. But these, if you get these, then that's great. But now we're going into our quiz, and everything is the same, but we're gonna incorporate my ya, mayate, lae, and mo on this one. All right. So this has been up for a little bit, so let's give ourselves till nine. Oh, I'm sorry, that's 9 my time. 15 after the hour, and this time I put the words here after. Just remember, if tense, action, subject, location. If there's two subject, then one of these is gonna get an A. Okay. So that's the way we're putting things in order right now. And some of these, well, actually not some. One of these does not have a tense marker because it's a command. If you see a command, sometimes the tense will be gone. There's no. It just goes right into the action and then subject location. Okay. If you have any questions, feel free to message me in the chat. 15 after the hour, we'll come back together. Yeah, okay. Sorry about I didn't pause it. So if you do see this recording, um sorry about that. You guys to skip over the 8 minutes that we were of silence. So so let's go ahead and do this. How do we say pay the bill for the boy in Samoan? Let me pull- let me see.
Totongi le pili mo le tama.
Yep. Tongilipili moletama or moletama. So this one here is a command. So sometimes you might hear someone say yeah, or they'll say sei. You know, sei has a little softer tone to it, but a lot of times they'll leave both of them out and just say totongi le pili mo le tama. Totongi le pili mo le tama. Or kokongi le pili mo le kama. Remember, if you're going to start with a T, and this one right here explicitly starts with a T, so you can pick your style in the beginning. But if you're gonna start with a kokongi, then the kama needs to also you have to say kama, not the tongi or kokongi le pili mo le tama. I mean, you can say that, but you might get talked about. Just putting that out there. So that's number one. Great job. Any questions on that? No questions. All right. Again, remember, uh, we our tense was implied or not implied, but it's a command. So sometimes people leave it out. So this is our action. The subject is Lepili, all right? And then our location is going to be for the boy, for the boy. Next one. Jan received that from the teacher. Anybody do this one? What's our tense? And if so we have okay, let's see. Maya. So well, so that's our location. We would start our let's see. Uh Maya. From so Maya oh no, so this is from the teacher. So our location is not gonna be Maya. So it's our location is from the teacher. So it's gonna be something else. Good, yeah, you're close though. You're close. Namawa Echan. Okay. Oh, sorry, let me copy this. All right, so let's break it all the way down. We have our tense is past tense, receive or mawa or to get. So mawa is to get or to receive. So this is great. Now mawa, and then who received it. So we have Jan, okay, and then because the A is right there, that more than likely that's gonna mean there's another subject. So Jan received lenamea, that. And in Samoan, there's usually not just a that, it's gonna be mea. Mea means thing. So that thing. So Jan received that thing. And since Jan is the one that received it, she gets marked with the A. That way we know who did the action. So na mawa e Jan le na mea, and then our location is from mai le whaiaonga. Na mawa e Jan le na mea mai le whaiaonga. Does everybody see that? Tense, action, we have a subject, and because there's two subjects, we have to mark the doer of the subject. Ed Jan. Jan is the one that did it. That thing, that Lenamea, and then our location is from Lefayaonga, from the teacher. Na mawa e Jan Lenamea my Lefayaonga. Of Tailava Leshan. All right. If you have any questions, please feel free to let me know. All right. So she received that from him. This is kind of similar to the last one, except we have one slight difference. She received that from him. So receive. This is gonna be pretty much the same. So as the last one. So I'll start with this one. Na maua. So received, and then who received? She, right? She, and then so because and then that, so oia, and then people they'll abbreviate, but we have to say it all the way out 'cause we're learning it formally. So oia, and then you might even hear people break it down like this. They'll just say eia, but we're gonna leave that in there. So namawa eoia, and then what did she receive? That that thing, lenamea, and then what is our location? Which is really what we're trying to pick up on this lesson anyway. The location is what? We have a singular what do you call this? A singular pronoun. My ya te ia. My ya te ia. So from and then him. So it's a singular pronoun. So mayate, mayate. So I, I feel like this might. So we'll do another worksheet after this one, just to make sure you guys got it. We do have some other things to cover as well, but um, if you guys are kind of confused on this, we'll slow it down because I don't want anybody to get lost or feel confused by this lesson. Okay. So the next one, the person was helping him inside of the jail.
Sorry,
Inside of
on that last one, how do you know? Because aren't those so if it was she received that from her, would it still be Maya to Ia?
Yep, it's the same.
So
So
there's no like
Ia,
sex pronoun there. It's just same gender. No, it's not a gendered pronoun.
yeah, and Samoan is the same. Him, her, or it. So Ia. So it's really all based on context. So maybe we would start with the name. Like early on, let's imagine we're reading a paragraph or we're talking a paragraph, and we both it's already understood that um we're talking about Regina.
Yeah.
So, and then later on, so after we say Regina the first time, then after that we say yeah, 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 or oh yeah. So we already know but in Samoan it's just like that for whatever reason. There's him, her, and it is all pretty much the same, and it's just
So
based on
like
context.
if you're not talking only about one him, her, it, is that why we do the eyebrows?
Probably, yeah. I don't know. Yeah, the eyebrows is for me is just if I don't know what you're saying at all, I just do the eyebrows. Don't say nothing. But and it got me 20 years of faking it. But here we're trying to learn how to use our eyebrows less. We just know that him, her, or it is ia or oh
Okay.
yeah, just depending on if it's before the action or after the action. And we're gonna get to that today. Like which one do we use? Oh yeah or ia? We're gonna talk about that today, probably if we get to that.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Sorry, I have a question too. Okay, is Ia and Ya spelled differently? Is there like a accent marker somewhere to help you know
Yeah,
which
so
way to
yeah,
read it?
yeah is supposed to be like this. And I just really need to go back through all of these because I made these slides like when I first started. Yeah is like that. Ya te ia. Ya te ia.
Thanks.
So uh ia doesn't have one, but ya does. Ia te ia. Ia.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't
Um
have a Kamalulu in front of it or Fatma Mapa.
oh the Taufi, oh no,
Alfie, yeah,
so
sorry. Oh,
that like him, her, or it
yeah.
doesn't. I don't know. It doesn't have a. It's just Does it have one? I don't think so. The like him, her, or it. So
Okay.
her equals just yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah. No, no, it doesn't have one. It doesn't have one. So I mean, it's a slight difference, but um, someone just asked a question like this, and it made a big difference. We were talking about the A versus the O. It was in the very last class, but it was after the class. They were saying like Olo'o and Olo'u. That might confuse people. I won't
Okay.
talk. We'll get to that part when we get to
One
it.
more question before we're done. When you're done with this worksheet, can you go up one so I can take a picture of that last slide when you're done?
Sure, sure. So I'll clear that and let's go up. All right. So there you go. While you're doing that, I'm
Thanks.
gonna mark the ones that's supposed to have the Papa Maka. So Mayate, Maya, um, Lae. I think that's all of them. And let me know whenever you're done with that.
All done. Thanks.
Okay. All right. So I guess that was more so of another lesson because I didn't really get to these, and these are very important because we had the two. So we had two. Well, also the la two, which would be I le sae, but we didn't talk about from. So it's really important that we talked about from. So we talked about two, which would be I. The opposite of I is my. The opposite of iya is gonna be I'm sorry, yeah, maya. The opposite of iyate is gonna be mayate, from, and then lie and then mo. Right. So this one is kind of the same. Um, okay, yeah, we got 3 more minutes. Let's talk about this one. The dog played over there in the car. So let's go ahead and translate this one, and then we'll get to A versus O. Anyone know how this one is as I put this slide up? So played is so our what's our tense in action? It's a past tense. So we have
Nata'alo.
yep, na ta'alo. And then who or what did the na ta'alo?
Le maile.
Le maile. Yep. Na ta'alo le maile. Yep. Ta'oe mo na na ta'alo le maile. And then over there, our location is going to be over there in the car.
Laie I te tono le kapale.
La e I totonu o le ta'avale. Yep. Ba. All right. So just remember, everything is going to be at least the way that we're learning it right now. And then after, you get into, you get fluent in the formal way of doing stuff, then you can start abbreviating it, and you'll hear like, okay, the people that's speaking Samoan to you, they cut out this and they cut out that, and they're abbreviating things the way that we do in English. But it's best that we learn the whole sentence out in Samoan first, and then you can abbreviate it as you get better and better. So na ta'alo le maile la e I tonu o le ta'avale. So and again, even somebody in the class said, yeah, we speak inside out. So our tense and our action is going to be played the dog, le maile, over there inside of the car. Okay, played the dog over there inside of the car. Or the dog, le maile, na ta'alo, la e, over there, I te tonu o le ta'avale. All right, tense, action, subject, location. All of this would be the location in this case. La e I to tonu, over there inside of the car. All of that. All right. So if you have any questions, this Sunday I'm free. I don't want anybody to feel lost. Just log in on it's 1 o'clock my time, 11 a.m. California time, Seattle time. What is that? Uh, I don't know. That would be 9 a.m. Honolulu time, and then it's you guys are in the next day in Samoa and New Zealand, Australia. So just log in Sunday so you guys don't forget, or just stay after class. We'll talk about it. Now we're gonna get into A versus O. If I can erase this stuff, this is what a lot of people have confusion with. So a lot of well, not a lot, but location phrases can also begin with A or O. All right. So the difference between A or O is if you have authority or possession over a noun, then it's going to be a A class thing. So like you're over it, over the thing. So if I say ole penny, that means the pen. You guys know that ole penny. But that's we learned that on like week 1. The pen, and then a letama, a letama. So you guys know letama is the boy, right? You guys probably. I'm sorry. Oletama, you guys know it's the boy if it's just by itself. But if you see something like this in in another phrase, this is attached to another phrase, olepenia letama. Now you're like, well, why is it an A? That's because it's a different kind of sentence here. We're saying something different. The pen of the boy. So the boy is over the pen. The boy owns the pen. The boy has authority over the pen. So this is I don't know what this is. It's a writing utensil. Let's just pretend it's a pen. The boy, it's the boy's pen. So this is the way that we would say it in Samoa. Ole peni aletama. Ole peni aletama. The boy's pen. So it's owned by the boy. The boy has authority over it. Okay. Ole peni aletama. I wouldn't say that about my uso. My uso, my brother. I wouldn't say that about my uso because that is a O class possession. Okay, my brother was given to me by God or whatever you believe. I had no control of this guy. This guy is my brother Oleuso. So we have the brother O Letama. I wouldn't say Olepeni O Letama because no pen in this world has control over me. I have control over all pens because I can throw away a pen. I could, get a new one, but I can't do that with my brother. When I was born, I had my brother. When I was born, so I don't know, or after I was born, my brother was given to me. It was out of my possession. I'm sorry, out of my control. Okay, so oleuso oletama, oleuso oletama. So the brother of the boy, the brother of the boy, or the boy's brother. That's how we would say it in English. Okay, so it's an O class thing. A brother's an O class. A pen, trash, a microphone, a light. All of these things are A class things. What's this? Um, so if you see an O in the middle of a sentence, it's not the tense O. It just depends on how it's phrased. So motu, come up with a O class sentence that just right off the top of your head, and I can tell you what the difference is between, because sometimes if you see a O, like if I say itotonu ole ta'avale, that's something different. So inside of the car, that's something different. But when we're talking about ole tama, something like that, where we're talking about another subject. So it's a subject, um, but I might confuse some people. This is actually a location. So Oleuso. So we have the brother, and then we have the boy. So if we put them together, the brother of the boy, that's a little different than Itutonu ole kaavale. I'm sorry, Itutonu ole taavale. Those two things are different. So I don't confuse anybody else. Just if you could send me an example of what you're talking about, because they're not interchangeable, but they can be used the same kind of way. But you have to know which way. So you're kind of the question you're asking is kind of like next week or week after next, and I don't want to confuse anybody else. Is it? Yes, it depends on the context. Thank you. That's exactly what it is. So for right now, so we don't confuse anybody, olepeni, this is an A class thing, all right, because it's disposable. We can get rid of it. Uso is not your brother. You cannot get rid of it. All right. So if you know from the context of the conversation, that's an A class thing. That would be an O class thing. All right. Sorry if I confuse anybody. Um, Now here are O class possessions, relationships. All right, relationships. Not all relationships, but um, some relationships would be A, some relationships would be O. An example of an A class relationship would be friend. All right, uo, uo. So if I say uo, that is a friend. All right, you can change your friends every single day. It doesn't matter, but you pick your friend. That's your choice. You can drop your friend. So you would say, well, I would say lau uo, my friend, your friend, lau uo. Okay, lana uo, his or her friend. Right? You pick those people. But if we're talking about grandma, mom, dad, those would be old class relationships. Brother, sister, we were born into all of that. Um, To'olua is a spouse. To'olua is spouse. So some people, and I only put this on here because I made a video before, because I read that it was a spouse is like a class thing because you picked your spouse. But I hear people say lo'u to'olua. I hear people say la'u to'olua. I hear both. So um, that's one of those things that can go either way. To me, if you're related to me, I always put you as an O class. I don't care if you're a step or like step parent or like step kid or I just use it's a respect thing. The A and the O class is a respect thing. So um, you know, in poetry you might hear something a little different. It's like, for example, if I were to say la'u, la'u, so that's A class. La'u to'olua, like I picked you. But if I say lo'u to'olua, I make you an O class, like I was given to you by God, like I had no choice, like this was destiny or this was fate or something like that. It again, this is something that depends on context. It's people get confused by this a lot. So, um, can you give me an example of how to introduce someone? Like this is my wife, Vanessa. Okay, yeah. So, so let me write it out. How do I get the whiteboard? Whiteboard. I would just say Olo'u to Alua Vanessa. That's me personally. I use if my wife I say is gonna be O class all the time. I'm not gonna say like, oh yeah, I can drop you anytime I want. I'll go get another and make you an A class. That's just me. but my wife don't know the difference. So, but I would just if it's me, I would always just include all my relatives are gonna be O class because you were given to me. Um, so Tolua, Vanessa, you know, that's just how I would say it. But you know, a lot of people don't know the difference, so I guess it doesn't matter. I don't know. But to me, O class for relationships. Okay. Okay, so your soul, your emotions, those things are given to you, right? You have emotions. I feel like you can well, actually, okay, no, that is true. Your emotions, you have no control over them when they initially come. This is how you control your emotions. So that's your behavior. So your behavior would be up here in the A class, right? That would be in the A class stuff. But your emotions, like they just come to you. These are very intricate things. So like this is probably like next level Samoan for real. But if you some of you do have a ngalu Maliman- Ngalu- was Ngalu Malimana after Letty Hunkins book. So this is where I got this from. So it's your soul or your emotions, these are things that are given to you. You kind of have no control over that. But if you take your emotions a little bit further to your behavior, how do you behave after you get that initial emotion? Those are A class things. So your behavior, and that might be on the next slide. That's A class. So these are things that you really have to think about. Your body parts, your body and your parts. So lo'utino, lo'ulima. These are all old class things. Lo'uulu, you know, lo'ufofonga, lo'u lo'uvai. Your legs, um, you know, your head, shoulders, knees, and toes. These are all old class things. Your clothing, although you can buy your clothing, this is something that um it's kind of confusing to me only because you know you can buy your clothing, throw your way your clothing, but they cover and protect you. So that's probably why these are old class. Your house and the parts of the house, old class thing. Okay. In Samoa, so if you live in Samoa, you know that's your boat and the parts of the boat. These are all old class things. Again, in America, it's hard for us to connect because a boat is a luxury. You know, and if you're able to afford a boat, you can probably just go trade your boat in and go get another one. So to us in our mind, that might be a class thing, but in the Samoan, um, you know, in our culture, it's going to be O class because it provides for our family. Maybe a lot of people went fishing, and then the land is O class. The land is given to us probably handed down like from in our village from one generation to another. So these are old class things, right? Soul, emotions, body parts, clothing, housing and house and parts, boats, and the parts of the boat, and then the land, and of course relationships. If you don't get anything else on here as old class, do your relationships as old class. All right, old class, A class, property, anything that you can acquire and throw away, except for houses, boats, and the clothes. Okay, houses and boats and the clothes. Language, the things that you say is A class if you control it. If it comes out of your mouth, and we kind of talked about this before, if it's a story that you tell, you told the story, and it comes from your mouth, that would be A class because you have the authority over it. O le launga le toyaina, the story of the old man. Or I'm sorry, the speech of the old man, the toya a le toyaina. But o le launga o le toyaina. So let's just say we're looking at a movie about the old man, and he had no contribution to the movie whatsoever. So it's out of his control. All right. That's the difference between this and that. So language, words, and speech, yes, they're A class if that person has the control over it, if that person have the authority over it. But if they don't, and it's out of their control, then it's the O class thing. Olelanga, oletoyaina. It's the story I just saw about the guy on HBO. He didn't get any money for it. He didn't have any control over it. Olelanga ale toyaina. He's standing on the corner with a megaphone. He's telling his story by himself out of his mouth. Okay, he had control over it. Plants and animals, A-class thing. O fungala'au a letene. Fungala'au. Anybody know what's that word? What's that? Anybody know what that word means? It's like plants or flowers. So plants or flowers. So if we say o fungala'au without any limiter, so there's no limits. So it's a plural. So o fungala'au a letene. So we have the flowers or the plants, the girl's plants, the girl's flowers, and they belong to the girl, and it's A-class because if she wants to, she's just kill the flowers, go get some more, you know, um, or keep them alive, but she owns them. Aletene. All right. We haven't got to Ote. We're gonna get to that if I probably need to talk faster. So I walk to La'u. So this is what we're trying to get out of here. It's the La'u. La'u is the A-class. There's La'u and Lo'u. All right. La'u ngalwenga. So ngalwenga is job, all right, or work. So my work, my work. So I could quit my job, go get another one, or whatever. La'u ngalwenga. I've heard people say Lo'u ngalwenga. Um, it's either way, but in the books you're gonna see La'u. Food, you're in control of your food, you eat what you want. It's gonna be Lao, A-class, A-class. So Lao is gonna be your. So o Lao me I me na. So um, you know, um your food is your food. That is your food. And then your behavior. Your behavior, that's like one step away from your emotions. So your emotions, you can't really control your emotions because they just come up, but it's how you your behavior that comes after your emotions. That's what you can control. So let's just say if I feel jealous immediately, but then nobody knows I'm jealous because I control my behavior after that. I'm disciplined. Okay, I know. So amio leanga. Amio is like behavior. Leanga is bad. So bad behavior, and then letama is boy. So if I say ole amio leanga aletama, I'm saying the bad behavior of the boy. He can control his behavior if he wants to, but he decided to make it bad. Leanga. Ole amio leanga letama. So the bad behavior of the boy. He's acting bad because he wants to. You do what you want to do. So those are, sort of the main differences of O class and A class thing. All right. Now, La'u, Lo'u, Lo, Lao, um, singular possessive. So anytime you see like the L in front of we call them limiters, right? Lo'u, Tina, Lo'u, Lo'u, Tama, La'u, Ta'avale, La'u, Beni. You know, whenever you see the L in front, that makes it singular. When you take that L away, these are the same words, right? But we just took the L away. Now it makes it plural. O'u, tina. Let's just say I got a mom and a stepmom. Okay. A'u. I wouldn't say a'u, a'u tina because they're O class. A tina is gonna be a mom is gonna be O class thing. So I would have to pick something that's A class if I'm gonna say a'u. Wa'u, wa'u penny. So my pens, right? So all we do from lo'u to o'u to make something plural is just drop the L. All right. So olo'u tina, my mom. O'u tina, my mother's. Okay. Ola'u penny, my pen. Oa'u penny, my pens. All right. So now when we're talking about lo, this is your. So the first one is my. Both of these mean my, but we have a O class my and we have a A class my. Lo is your, lao is your. We have a O class your. We have a A class your. So olo tina, your mom. All right. I would not say olau tina because a mom is a O class thing, O class possession. So I would say, I would, if I'm going to say olau, I'm going to have to pick a A class possession, like a pen. I'll just keep using the same thing to make things simple for time purposes. Olau penny, your pen. Okay. If I want to say your pens, just drop the L. Oau penny. If I want to say your mom's, I would say o tina. If I wanted to say his mom, I would say olona tina. If I want to say his mom's, his multiple moms, drop the L. Oona tina. If I want to say his pen, I say olana penny. If I want to say his pen, drop the L. I'm not even writing. Sorry about that. You just drop the L. Oana penny. Oana penny. All right. So that's all it is to it with that. Let me go to a worksheet. This might help explain it, just in case anyone is. So this one here, I'm going to copy that, put it in our chat. So this one here is now in the chat. All right. So if I want to say your mother, all right, your mother. We know that mom. Let's do it one step at a time. So we're talking about a singular mother. So what do we put right here? Do we say my, your, his, her? So your mother. O, yep. So we definitely need the O in the front. Thank you for that. O, yeah. All right. O. For some reason, it's not writing on this. Oh, it's because it's white. Um. Okay. So O, and then I forgot what you said in the chat. Oh, okay. Olo tina. Oh, so it's a singular, and then it's a O class. Oh, eh. All right. So it wouldn't be on the first one because that's mine. Let me erase that. All of that. So your right there. All right. So singular, O class, and then we have our pronoun. Ooh. So low. Just like Mark said, low tina, low tina. Okay, low tina. So okay. His pencil, indefinite. So indefinite is okay. This is when we're definite. We know it's a singular specific thing. Singular non-specific is gonna be we're gonna start with an S. Okay, and we did talk about this before. We don't have much time, but we can get into it if we need to. His pencil, indefinite. So his. Well, I'm sorry. Does anyone have this one? Okay, so it's indefinite, so we'll start with the S, and we'll come back and do a definite too, because that's mainly what we've been talking about. So, we're talking about a pencil, so what would be the next, what would be in the next column?
A.
Right, A. What is going on here? Sorry about that. A. All right. So, A, and then, our pronoun is going to be na. So his pencil. So O. All of these are gonna have O in front, by the way. O, sana, and then pencil, penitala. Osana penitala. His pencil. Osana penitala. A pencil, it's a pencil that belongs to him, right? A class. Um, let's do you guys can either pick one or let me see. Oh, the answers are actually down here too as well. Um, his friend. Let's do his friend. Because that's people use that interchangeably. So his gonna be where? Is this his specific friend? Just if it's non-specific, it's gonna be S. If it's plural, it would be ni. We should probably do. But if it's a singular and specific, we're gonna have a L. So we have a L, and then friend is that friend an A class or O class?
A class.
A class. So yeah, you can drop your friends, go get another friend. Go on Facebook. People are fake all the time, so you just say lana o lana, and then uo. You just put your noun after that. So olana uo. Right. So that worksheet is right under here, right? And it's in the chat. See what we have next. And then we're gonna cover this when we start back. Yeah, we kind of did the same thing there. Tea salt. So this is what we're gonna start with the next time. If you have any questions, feel free to hang around. And I know this is a little difficult because we don't do any of this stuff in English, so people get really like discouraged with this part with A class and O class. But what I can tell you is don't get too caught up on this because even native Samoan speakers, well, not I won't even say native Samoan speakers. The ones that I grew up with, um, they like mix all of this stuff up all of the time. So, but the main thing that they never mix up is your family, like your mom, your dad, O class. But the rest of the stuff, like people say la ufalde, they'll say lo utavalde, like they'll get all of that stuff mixed up. Just don't mix up your mom, your grandma, your mom, your dad, your brothers, sisters. Those are all O class things. Pretty much everything else in the world is like, nobody really trips off of that, but it's disrespectful to call your mom or your dad or your grandma or your grandpa, by a class. Um, you don't mix those things up. Other than that, um, you guys would be way ahead if you know the difference between A and O class. If you just know these slides, like the slides that we talked about here, the parts of speech, like if you know the difference between a story told by the person and O class story that's told about the person, where they have no control. You're way steps ahead of people that been speaking to someone from day one, right? So, have any questions? Just hang around. If not, Manuel Po, Manuel Aso, on the other side of the world. I'll be here if you guys have any questions. I'm gonna stop recording now.